Hello, back again for another vlog. How did my goal go? Well, I kind of failed, lol. I mean, I did end up, I did open the document. I did look at the stuff that I wrote down. And I kind of read through the document, but then I was just thinking about it and I was like, how much work do I really need to do? Is it really necessary? And part of me was just kind of like, no, because all I need to do is just read the information that I have and then I'll be good. But that's not really true because I still need to prepare maps and stuff in case there's combat and stuff. And I'm just so lazy that I don't want to do it. And so I'm just like, oh, what am I doing? It's gonna be in 2 days and I'm not doing anything. Another failure per se. I mean, I didn't do the physical note thing, so maybe that's why I messed up, because I didn't have that reminder. I mean, I was still thinking about it, just I didn't have that physical reminder next to me. So I really need to do that for tomorrow. I really, really, really need to do that. Because I can't just keep waiting. And I don't want to procrastinate. So yeah. It's a bit sad, a bit unfortunate. Part of me doesn't really even want to do this DnD thing anymore. Because I'm so just not into it anymore, apparently, because I don't want to do the work. I don't know. It's the story. Okay, let me reenact basically what the story is, because I have nothing else to talk about. And it's also a test to see if I actually remember as much as I think I do. So basically, I'll start with the lore first, I guess, the reasoning behind the story. So there's this guy named Herb Dusking, and he wants to take revenge on his name Faroe Sangrenard, I think, and he wants to basically take over the Merchants Guild, which he runs, because as a child his family produced this wine for the Sangrenard family, and it was really high quality, and so they were getting along. But then one day the parents were just like, hey, we're gonna actually start making our wine low quality so that we get money but we don't have to spend as much time and effort making the wine. But then Faroe Sangrenard finds out about this and was like, hey, you're scamming me. So then he kicks them out and fires them, essentially. And then Herb Dusking, when he was still a child, he was like, I hate you. And so then his plan was to, as he grew up, he changed his name to Herb Dusking, and then he starts to rise in the family as their assistant, and he does really well, to the point where he's second in command, and Faroe Sangrenard wants Herb Dusking to marry his daughter, Celine Sangrenard. And Herb Dusking is like, okay, I'll do it. But both Celine and Herb are not actually into each other, but they're doing it because of pressure. I mean, Herb has his own reasonings, but Celine, she just doesn't want to get married because she's asexual, but she still has to go through with it because that's what his dad wants. And so basically there's this gala, right, that they do every year. And so this is the campaign, or not the campaign, the one shot takes place at this gala, the Golden Gala, where they do every year to celebrate and to celebrate the success of the Merchants Guild or whatever. And there's a lot of higher ups there, a lot of like popular people, a lot of famous people. And the way the story starts is Celine Sangrenard goes to the players and is like, hey, I need your help. There's been a threat that Faro will be forced to step down, or else a tragedy will occur at the gala. But Faro, my dad, isn't taking it seriously, and so I'm hiring you guys to go to the gala and find out who's responsible for this devious little letter, and to protect me and the guests in case something does happen. And so the players accept, and then they get invited to the gala, where they can dress up if they want and be all fancy. And then the whole point of them there is to talk to people and figure out who might be the culprit. And so once they get there, there's like a little introductory scene of like the location. And basically what happens is, as they start talking to people, there's like a mental timer in my head where after every person that they talk to, time progresses in the story, and after a certain amount of time, certain events happen. So like, if they enter a certain room, a certain scene happens, or if they talk to a specific person, a certain scene can happen. And so it's basically like, if they enter the dining hall, I think at one point something happens, and I can't remember, or my memory's starting to fade, but there's like a lot of different NPCs that they can talk to get information about what they know and stuff. And they're all basically just like, it's kind of like a mystery. Like you have to kind of like a clue. You have to figure out who's sus. So you talk to them, you get some info out of them, and they like can look around to find any certain, like, there's like a note that they can find that someone wrote in like a code, which could be a red herring or not, I don't know. And they like basically just have to walk around and investigate. But if they go into the kitchen, then there's a chance that they might fight, because the herb dusking guy hired some like bodyguards essentially to kidnap the actual kitchen staff, or like basically, how do I explain it? Like all of the kitchen staff that are supposed to be there aren't there, and so like as the gala progresses, like the food is not getting sent out, the wine tastes really bad, and Bora Muskmark, I think her name is, she's like the person that's like going over the gala and making sure everything's going smoothly, and she's panicking a lot because things are going wrong, and she's trying to calm down the guests and stuff. And so she's like one of the NPCs you can talk to. But the people in the kitchen are all people who have been hired by Herb to basically be there to fight in case something goes wrong, as like bodyguards, and to also like prevent people from escaping the gala once his devious plan is enacted. Which, speaking of, what is his plan? Basically, he said that if Faro Sangrenard doesn't step down from the Merchants Guild, then he has this device that one other NPC made called Dandel Tallytail, I think. And his plan is to, at midnight, at exactly 12 o'clock, he'll release the bugs. He has a device called a bug collar, which, like, once he activates it, every single bug in a 500-foot radius around him immediately is under his command. And so, like, the lights have, like, fireflies in them. And so you can notice early on that, like, if you're next to Herb, while next to one of the lights, then, like, you'll notice that, like, the bugs are agitated because of the bug collar. And that, at one point, one of the light fixtures shatter because of that. But it doesn't happen to all of them until he activates the bug collar. And so what happens is if he doesn't get discovered by midnight, then he activates the bug collar, and I remember now. What he does is, if he isn't found out about what happens, then he'll basically like send out these bugs that start attacking people, maybe even killing them, right? And they like fly through the windows and stuff. They're attacking guests, they're attacking people. What he does is, after some chaos has ensued, if no one knows that he's the culprit, then he'll basically pretend to fight the bugs, but secretly he's actually using the bug collar to control them, right? So he's the one that's commanding the bugs. And so he'll make it look like he's the hero that saved everyone, when in reality he's the one that did everything. And his plan is to eventually like kill Pharaoh maybe, or make him look like the hero in hopes that he gets to be the one at the top, right? Or he can, there's also like another option where like he can blame someone else, like he can blame Pharaoh for being the one to do it, or he can blame Celine, and she was the one that did it because she deals with like evil magic, like warlock magic, right? Because she's a warlock, but her like patron is she like follows Kren, which is known as like an evil god, but that's not her actual intention. She just likes, Kren is like a fox god, right? So she uses it for good, even though it's considered like an evil god, because she learns a lot from it. And so that's what her intentions are. She's not actually evil. But yeah, that's basically it. And there's a bunch of like other characters that are there as like red herrings that you can talk to for info, but they all have like their own little backstories. The only two main culprits are Dandel, Dallytail, and Herb Dusking, because they're the two that are actually in on it, right? But there are other NPCs that have some info, like I'm pretty sure there's one that got paid to keep his mouth shut, and so it's like, oh, he saw some stuff, but he doesn't really know the whole story. Or like every NPC like knows some stuff, but don't know like the true intentions behind everything. Or some have been like, bribed to keep their mouth shut. And so it's like, you have to figure out who's telling the truth, who's not. You could be led astray by thinking someone else is sus because they're acting strangely, but in reality it's because of some other red herring story. And so that's basically what happens. There's also there's like a balcony area as well, where there's a potential for another fight scene to occur if the players do discover that it's Herb. What he'll do is he'll basically like grab Pharaoh and hold him as like hostage, and he'll like threaten to drop him off the balcony, causing him to die. And so he's like, don't get any closer or I'll kill Pharaoh. Ooh. And then it's like, okay, now there's like a hostage situation. Like, how do you go about that? And so, I don't know. It's pretty interesting. I still have to read through all of the details just so I can like have them in my mind ready, for when the time comes. And I also need to make some maps for those combats, unless I just want to use the theater of the mind, which is fine, but I like the maps just because they're fun, and I've already made tokens for them, so I might as well go through with the map idea. It just takes a little bit more effort on my end, but that's fine. I have all day tomorrow to do it, so hopefully I get on that. We'll see. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about my D&D thing because I felt really bad about not really doing anything today. So I wanted to say my thoughts out loud just so I could like process the D&D story and hopefully get me more motivated to actually work on it tomorrow. Because talking about it out loud actually does make it a lot more interesting. That's what I like about D&D, the story. It's just sometimes when there's so many minuscule details, it kind of feels like studying, and that's not so fun. But when I can talk it out loud, then it makes it more fun. But yeah, that's it. Talk to you tomorrow. See ya.